Special Week 5 edition of What Does the Fish Say? This is a Broncos country only video because I just have so much to talk about in this game that it needs its own video. So we'll hit up the rest of the games tomorrow. We'll have a special guest coming in, my buddy Travis, maybe shed some light on some of the other games from Week 5 action. But right now, it's all about these guys. First, just want to say big shout out to my guy, Demaryius Thomas, 226 yards receiving. That's a franchise record. Kind of called himself out a couple weeks ago, saying he hadn't been playing his best. It's true. I mean, he'd been having a few drops, not quite the usual numbers, but I knew he'd bounce back, and wow, what a way to do it against Cardinals defense that's pretty stingy, pretty dang good, and to put up those kind of numbers, that kind of performance, it's going to instill a lot of confidence. Congratulations, big man, you deserve it. You're awesome. So yeah, but from the beginning of this game, came out, it came out kind of the way I expected. We came out, scored pretty quick. We forced a field goal on their first drive. That's kind of typical of what our defense has been doing. They got down there. We forced a field goal. I must say, Drew Stanton did miss a couple throws, just barely. His receivers had some drops that really hurt him. That maybe would have changed the direction of this game. The momentum had the receivers either made the catch or he put the ball in a little better place. One would have been a touchdown to John Brown. Another would have at least extended the drive a little bit. So in the beginning, I thought we were going to have some issues covering. We kind of shored that up a little bit better throughout. So that was nice. We came out, we weren't able to run the ball very well, but you know what? I've been saying this for the past week or so that, we're not the San Francisco 49ers that should be running the ball, 50% of the time. We've got Peyton Manning back there. He should put it up between, 35, 45 times a game. And look what happens. That was a career high for Manning too, 479 yards. Would have been more had it not been for the chop block that was called. By interpretation of the rule, it was a chop block. It was actually a lure block. I was looking at the rules. And Bruce Arians came out and said, hey, that was a dirty play. Dirtiest play I've seen in 37 years. The dirtiest play. I could see maybe if it was premeditated. However, if you look at the tape, and especially, John Fox said, we would never coach that. There's no reason to do that. But, it was a three-man rush. Obviously, it was a miscommunication. They should have checked out of that between Julius and Clady, And I'll show you the clip here in a second to show you what I'm talking about, but it was just a miscommunication. Really, really bad situation for Calais Campbell. I like the Cardinals. I like the Cardinals defense, so I hate to see that. I hate to see any player get hurt. So best wishes to him, speedy recovery, and that play cost us a 77-yard touchdown. Demaryius had another big one, beat Cromartie. Cromartie held him. And that would have been another touchdown, so there's no reason for them to coach, a chop block. It's going to negate a big play, and it did. So, I'll go ahead and show it to you real quick, just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we got Clady, our left tackle, Julius Thomas, lined out outside. Here's Calais Campbell, the defensive end. So what's going to happen is Thomas is going to come in immediately with the cut block, which are legal, by the way. A cut block is legal as long as the player's not engaged, or the lineman is not luring him into a block, which is what is called here. So let's go ahead and run it real quick. see, yeah, I mean, he hits him immediately, and then Clady's not engaged with him. And then you see here, our play gets called back. Alright, so there's that. Just defending my guys, you know, I don't think they're dirty. I don't think it was premeditated. I think it was just, you know, it was miscommunication is something that happened. So, we'll see. You know, he'll probably get a fine. He won't get suspended. It was, you know, he's got no record or do anything like that. So, keep doing what you're doing, Big Julius. 2 more touchdowns for you. That's 7 touchdowns on the year through 5 games. That's the league lead. So we got a couple beasts out there named Thomas, 88 and 80, going to town. Next on the agenda, Von Miller. He's not leading the league in sacks. He's only at 3.5 sacks, but he is back. He has been, ever since even in the Seattle game, he didn't really have the numbers, but he was everywhere. He was all over Russell Wilson. He was making him run around. This game, he had a bunch of quarterback hits. He had 1.5 sacks. And, I mean, the hit he put on Stanton took him out of the game. I mean, it was a clean hit. It was just a big hit. Took him out of the game and brought in Logan Thomas. And at that point, the game, you know, it was seen kind of out of reach. He made a heck of a throw to Ellington on the wheel route. I don't know how he got that in there. Nate Irving was in pretty good coverage, just didn't get his head around. So, good play by him, good play by Ellington. Ellington killed me in my fantasy game this week. I was playing my brother, and he had Andre Ellington. He went off for like 30 points, and that sunk me. So, props to Landon. Took me out. Javaris and Lamar. Took me down. So, what's next? So, yeah, like I was saying, Von Miller, I think he's going to be a real force this year. Probably not going to have quite the sack numbers, you know, from, you know, whenever he was in the form that he was in when he had the league lead in sacks a few years ago. Just because, one, DeMarcus Ware's on the other side, and he's going to be taking some sacks from him. DeMarcus Ware has 3.5 sacks as well. And then, 2, he has really diversified his game. He's a 3-4 linebacker, so he's not blitzing on every play. He does still blitz quite a bit, but he also is playing really well in coverage and in run defense as well. He's got a lot of tackles for a loss this year, so he is balling out. I really like what I'm seeing from the defense. TJ Ward's flying all over the field, making plays. Chris Harris, who I knew would be solid coming back, I think has been our best cover guy, even a little better than Aqib Talib so far as making plays and not allowing completions. He's been a stud. So, heck, I mean, I know our offense put up 41 points, but our defense played really well this game outside of the first couple drives in the first quarter. And, you know, I'm just really excited. The Chargers are 4-1. We got a big game coming up against them in a few weeks. I think we got the Jets next week, and then we play the 49ers on Sunday Night Football at home. That's going to be huge. And then we got Thursday Night Football against the Chargers, and those are 2 massive games. You know, I think we should take care of the Jets pretty well next week. Obviously, you can't overlook any game, but if we can take them down, we got 2 huge primetime matchups on the horizon. And I like our chances in both of them, you know. The offense is starting to click. Emmanuel Sanders, another 100-yard game, still hasn't gotten in the end zone, but he's been consistent. He's moving the sticks. He's fast. So it's just scary. The weapons that we have is pretty scary. Speaking of weapons, Monte Ball did go down. Had been kind of struggling so far this season. Just hate to see that, you know. I think that he was probably going to get it going at some point. So wish him a speedy recovery over the next few weeks dealing with that groin strain. And then in the meantime, Ronnie Hillman's going to come in. I've always liked what I've seen from Hillman as far as running the ball, but his ball security has been what has been the issue. He's put the ball on the turf too many times. So, but haven't seen that really from him the past year or so. So hopefully if he's got that fixed, he can be a pretty dynamic running back. I liked when he came in. I liked what I saw in that game. He had like 8 carries for 64 yards or something like that. So he hit the hole hard. He hit it quick. He was decisive. And then guys like C.J. Anderson and Jawan Thompson, they're like that too. One cut and go straight downhill. That's all we need. So Peyton Manning's gonna still light it up through the air. If we can find a little bit of balance on the ground, that's okay. Got these experts saying, hey, they're gonna have to find some kind of semblance of a run game if they want to make it to the Super Bowl. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we can win by just throwing the ball if we want. It'd be nice to have a running game too. But heck, we did it. We did it last year. I know Sean Moreno ran the ball well, but we can beat teams throwing the ball, every week if we want. So it's nice to just keep them honest. Despite Monte Ball, he had like 8 yards on 7 carries, yet the play action pass is still working. I think Peyton Manning is #1 in the NFL off play action passes, and we're like 26th or 27th running the football. So, they say you got to run to set up the pass. No, in our case, we're the Denver Broncos. We pass to set up the run, and that's what we're gonna keep doing. So next week we got the Jets. Phillip Rivers lit them up this week. Antonio Gates 2 touchdowns. I think you're going to see more of the same from us. Julius Thomas is going to have a big game. Probably find him in the red zone at least once. He'll keep his touchdown streak going. I think we're going to be able to throw on him. I don't know how we'll be able to run. Their offense is a mess. Geno Smith, Michael Vick. Looks like Geno Smith's going to start this week. But just nothing about that offense really scares me. We'll be going up against our old teammate Eric Decker. I don't even know if I think he might be injured. I'm not sure, but that'd be pretty cool, I guess. Hope maybe he'll do something against us. I don't know, but so don't see the Jets being much of an issue. May start doing this more often, just because obviously the most I have to talk about is the Broncos, and so I may just start dedicating a whole video to them, their performances, and what they got going on the following week. So, but heck, big game, big win. This was not an easy game. The Cardinals were coming off a bye too. They were 3-0. They hadn't lost a game. Drew Stanton was playing well. Their defense was playing well, and they played us pretty close. It was 24-20 in the third quarter, but we did what we were supposed to do at home. We took a good team and we put them away and ended up winning the game 41-20. So, really good game. Really encouraged by what I saw. Not a whole lot of negatives besides the run game, and then just some coverage issues in the first quarter there. But other than that, super solid. I like where we're going. Unfortunately, the Chargers have been hot too. So when we play them in a few weeks, it's going to be a good game. I think they're right up there at the top of the AFC, and so we're going to have to kind of assert our dominance and prove, hey, we're still the class of the AFC West and the class of the AFC. And Bengals fell this week too, so I think that kind of goes to show, hey, we're right there. The AFC is going to have to go through us this year, and people are going to give us their best shot. So, got to keep working, and that's all I got for you. Keep it real, Broncos country. We'll get back there.